Hello, good evening. Good evening. How are you, students? Can you hear me? Yes, resolution then. Hello, hello. Can you hear me, people? Solution is right, people. Paper number 11 to support paper number 11, we are having this series of discussion. So we are discussing today plant life cycles, and then we had to discuss enzyme lesson, and also we have to talk about core data lesson. So we'll start with the plant life cycle first, right? Plant life cycle lesson. So right, plant life cycle lesson. We have to start first with people the pogonatum life cycle, but before that, we have to talk about the general plant life cycle. General life cycle of plants, sexual reproduction of terrestrial plants, sexual reproduction of terrestrial plants. Sexual reproduction of terrestrial plants, right? The life cycle of land plants exhibit alternation of generation. So what is this alternation of generation? Alternation of generation. Alternation of generation. Okay, just give me 1 minute, people. All right. Okay. So alternation of generation. So let's talk about that. Now, people, the special thing about plant life cycle, right? Special thing about plant life cycle is there are two stages. There are two stages in plant life cycle, right? What are two stages in plant life cycle? One is a 2N stage. The other one is a haploid stage, right? There are two stages present. One is a 2N stage. The other one is the haploid stage. Now, I think you know the difference between these two stages. One of the stage you call as the sporophyte. Sporophyte. The other one we call as the gametophyte. Gametophyte. So there are two stages. Sporophytic stage is there. The gametophytic stage present. Right? So what makes a difference? Ploidy level, we can see a difference. We can see a difference in the ploidy level. Right? Ploidy level difference is there. Ploidy level difference. Ploidy level difference present. Now, you know, people, plants or any organism, advanced organisms, they have 2N condition. Because 2N state is where you have what you call homologous chromosomes. Homologous chromosomes available that you call as a diploid. So, sporophyte is diploid. 2n stage. The homologous chromosomes are there. Gametophyte is haploid. That means the 2n stage, the homologous chromosomes absent. So in plant life cycle, we can see that life cycle alternates between the sporophyte to gametophyte, vice versa. The sporophyte to gametophyte, gametophyte to sporophyte. We can see that the alternation of the life cycle take place. Right? Alternation of life cycle take place. What do you call that? That is called as alternation of generation. But the special point is, if the sporophyte and the gametophyte are visibly different. Now, you know, sporophyte, the appearance of the sporophyte in land plants, the appearance of the sporophyte and the appearance of the gametophyte, they are different. Right? This is the sporophyte. Right? The appearance of the sporophyte and the gametophyte, they are different. When they are different in appearance, then you call it as heteromorphic. Then you call it as heteromorphic. So what do you call this alternation of generation? Heteromorphic alternation of generation. Heteromorphic alternation of generation. So the life cycle shift between these two stages, right, the gametophyte and the sporophyte, that we call as the heteromorphic alternation of generation. People, if you are sending me messages, send it to the main chat, right? So everyone else, and I can see the chat, right, messages. Otherwise, when you are send it personally, I can't see that, okay? So make sure that you send it to the to the main chat line, okay? I think you can find it out. So this is alternation of generation. Now, you know, people, some stages are there. The sporophyte is having leaves. Sporophyte has leaves. This one is one of the leaf. This one is one of the leaf. On the leaf, we can see, people, what are these? Sporangia. Sporangia present. Inside the sporangium, what do you see? The mother cells present. Inside the sporangium, mother cells present. What do you call those mother cells? Spore mother cells. They are spore mother cells. The spore mother cells undergo meiosis. So here, meiosis occur. Spore mother cells undergo meiosis and then they form, people, what they form? Spores. They form spores. These are spores. Spores germinate and then form. These are spores, neither. They are spores. Spores germinate and then form. They are spores. This is the sporangium. Sporangium. Inside spore mother cells. What do you call spore mother cells? Sporocyte. Sporocyte or the spore mother cells. They undergo meiosis and then produce spores. Spores germinate and then form the gametophyte. Now, this is the gametophyte then. The gametophyte has archegonia and antheridia, neither. Gametophyte has archegonia and antheridia. Let's take the gametophyte has archegonia. The gametophyte has antheridia. I'll show them in two different colors. Right? Archegonia. Archegonia. Archegonia forms the egg cell. And these are antheridia. Antheridia. Antheridia forms sperm. Sperm. Right? Egg and the sperm. Egg and the sperm, they unite. Egg and the sperm, they unite. Result is zygote. It's a single cell, right? Diploid single cell. Zygote is now forming embryo. Embryo. And embryo forms the sporophyte. So embryo is 2n, zygote is 2n. The process that happened here, the union of the egg and the sperm, what do you call that one? Joining of the egg and the sperm, we call as the fertilization. 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 We call that as the fertilization. So fertilization now results the 2n generation once again. So you can see this basic, right? You can see this present in all plant life cycles. You can see this is present in all plant life cycles. This is present in all plant life cycles. Can you see my pointer? You can't see me, right? So you can see this, can't see me. So this is the sporophyte, goes into the next one, the sporophyll or the leaf, and then from there people we get the sporangium, right? And the sporangium undergo meiosis. Sporangium has sporocytes. Sporocytes undergo meiosis and then produce spores, and that is formed in the gametophyte. Gametophyte has archegonia and antheridia, and they form the archegonia, form the egg and the sperm, fertilization, zygote. So that it goes like that. Goes like that. All right. So that is the general plant life cycle. That is the general plant life cycle. All right. And then people, we come to pogonatum. So in pogonatum, you can see this. In pogonatum, you can see this. Right? You can see this in pogonatum life cycle. So let's come into this pogonatum life cycle. So find your books, find your posters, whatever you have, neither. You can take pull out the posters that I have given to you, right? Or else you can take the notebook, right? Whatever. So this is the pogonatum life cycle. So pogonatum life cycle, we can start from here. This is the sporophyte. So what you get here is the sporophyte, neither. Sporophyte. That's the sporophyte. So as usual, we can start from the sporophyte. You can start from sporophyte. Right? You can start from sporophyte. Right? You can start from sporophyte. Now the special feature here, you can see gametophytes, two gametophytes present. One is that, the other one is this. That's like a special case. Right? What you see? Two gametophytes available. Two gametophytes present. So this life cycle now alternates between the gametophytes, actually two gametophytes, and with a single sporophyte. Two gametophytes and with a single sporophyte. All right. So we have to now discuss people this pogonatum life cycle. So if I take pogonatum life cycle, the stages in the pogonatum life cycle, simple, neither. That's simple. Pogonatum life cycle, it's better people we start with the gametophyte. You know the sporophyte is there and the gametophyte also present, but it's a cycle. It is a cycle, so it doesn't matter where you start the cycle, right? You come to the same point, right? So we can start somewhere here. Let's start with the gametophytes. So this is one gametophyte. This is the other gametophyte. What do you call? The male and the female gametophytes. Male and female gametophytes. So I'll take this upper one as the what is this male gametophyte. The lower one I'll take as the female gametophyte. Right? So this is the girl, female gametophyte. And here I have the male gametophyte. This is Mr. Male gametophyte. gametophyte. Mr. Gametophyte and Mrs. Gametophyte. Right? Both are haploid. Both are haploid. So what do you get here at the top? Here at the top, you have the antheridium. And here at the top, what you see, people? Archegonium present. This one is archegonium. Right? Archegonium and antheridium. They are present on the top of the plant. Maybe I can draw it properly neither. Right? This is the archegonium at the top of the plant. So this is antheridium, antheridium. And this one is the archegonium. Archegonium. Now, antheridium form sperms. This is antheridium. Ne? So, what do you get inside the antheridium? Sperms form by the antheridium. Sperms are going to form by the antheridium. This archegonium, on the other hand, has egg inside. Archegonium has egg inside. So this is archegonium. Let me show you the egg present inside the archegonium. That's the egg. Egg inside the archegonium. These are sperms. So in rainy condition, both plants are short, about a centimeter in height. Neither. So as water splash on them, the sperms, right, when they are released from the antheridium, they can easily swim into the nearby archegonia and then result fertilization. So what happened here? Fertilization occur. So we call this fertilization. Sperms are going to swim into the archegonium. Sperms are going to swim into the archegonium. So I have now two options for you to select. Is it called external fertilization or is it called internal fertilization? You can type and let me know. Right? Sperms are going to swim into the archegonium. Sperms are going to swim into the archegonium. Right? Sperms are going to swim into the archegonium. Sperms swim in external water. Like you jump into a swimming pool. Right? And then you swim. Right? They now swim in this rainwater. And they reach here. They move in. And they find, people, the precious egg is there. The beautiful egg is in the castle, right? Egg is not outside, not like the amphibian eggs. Amphibian eggs, people, you can see that the female release the egg into water. Sperms are released also into water. Both are in water. Both are now moving and then they meet each other. That you call as the external fertilization. Now, this is not like that. The queen is in the castle. She is in the castle, right? And she see this sperm comes to her, right? So, what do you call that fertilization? That you call as internal fertilization. What do you call that? Internal fertilization, right? So, internal fertilization. Internal fertilization. Internal fertilization occur. Right? So it move in. Result is what? Result is the zygote. Look at this. Result is zygote. Result is the zygote. This is zygote now. Result is zygote. Zygote now divide and then become multicellular. So this is zygote. Zygote 2n. This is zygote 2n zygote. Zygote divide and then become multicellular. And then it forms the embryo. Zygote becomes the embryo. As the embryo grow larger, right? What happened, people? This split into two. Archegonium splits into two. Right? As the embryo grow inside, this is embryo. Embryo is now growing inside. Archegonium split into two parts. This is that bottom part of the archegonium. Neither. Bottom part of the archegonium is still attached to the female gametophyte. So what do you see here? This is the female gametophyte. This is female gametophyte. That's female gametophyte. So this structure you call as the sporophyte. Sporophyte, 2N. That is the sporophyte, 2N. This part is the female gametophyte. Female gametophyte. That's a female gametophyte. And then you can see that people inside this structure, we call this as the capsule. Inside this structure, the capsule, we can see that these spore mother cells present. Who are they, people? There are cells here. What do you call these cells? Mother cells. Which mother? Spore mother cells. So what do you call sporocyte? Spore mother cells, these ones. They undergo meiosis. They undergo meiosis. My board is too small. They undergo meiosis and then produce people what? Spores. They form spores. We call these spores as spores. Because all spores are same size. So you call them as homospores. Right? The germination of the spore forms protonema. This is protonema, green color filament. What do you call that? Protonema. This protonema can grow and then form people, male and the female sporophytes. They can grow and form male and female sporophytes. That's the life cycle of Pogonatum. That's not very complex neither. It's very simple life cycle. Right? It's very simple life cycle. Right? Pogonatum life cycle is simple. Right? Let's come back to this, the diagram we drew in the class. Diagram that you drew in the class. Right? This is the diagram. So I hope you can understand and identify these stages now. You can identify these stages. This is, what is this? This one is the, what do you call? The male gametophyte, neither. Gametophyte. Male gametophyte. So this is number 3, rhizoid. Rhizoid. Number 2, leaf, neither. Leaf. Number 1, stem. 4 is you can take antheridia. 4 you can take as antheridia. Or we learn 4 as people perigonium. But we don't need that, neither. We'll just skip it. Right? We'll just skip that. Then the female plant also same. So this is the female what? Gametophyte. Female gametophyte, neither. Gametophyte. Female gametophyte. And then people, so here we can see the antheridium number 5. What is this? Antheridium. Antheridium. And then here you can see the sperm, neither. Sperm formed by the antheridium. Sperm formed by antheridium. So here you have the archegonium. Archegonium number 6, neither. Archegonium. And then you can see Inside the archegonium, there you can see the egg present. Ne? This is the egg. This is egg. Right? So what do you call this process? Internal fertilization. Internal fertilization. With what, people? Using external water. Ne? Internal fertilization using external water. So we get the zygote and then the embryo. We get the embryo. And then here, people, the sporophyte. Ne? The sporophyte. Sporophyte. That's the two-end sporophyte. And then we get, people, the sporophyte. And number 6 is the capsule. Ne? And then number 17, what is that? Sporocytes. Sporocytes, or the spore mother cells. And then 18, homospores. Homospore. Then the structure, you know, the 19, protonema. And then these are buds. They are buds. Right? Buds form here. So that's the pogonatum life cycle. This is pogonatum life cycle. It's not complex, right? It's not complex. So let's read, people, this information. Right? Shall we read this information, Lamai? Right? Let's read the information. Oh. Just give me 1 minute, people. Right. You can see my studio now. All right. Okay. So, pogonatum life cycle, let's read that part, people. Let's read that part. Life cycle of pogonatum. Life cycle of pogonatum. See whether anything very complex and hard present for you. Gametophyte is the dominant plant. Gametophyte is the dominant plant, larger and longer living than sporophyte. Gametophyte is photosynthetic. Right? Stem, leaves, and rhizoids are present in the gametophyte. Gametophytes are dioecious. Dioecious. What's meant by dioecious? What's meant by dioecious, people? Dioecious is unisexual. Ne? Dioecious, unisexual. Mature male gametophyte produce antheridia, in which several sperms are produced. Female gametophyte produce archegonia. Single egg is produced within the archegonium. Egg is not released. Flagellated motile sperms swim through the external water towards the egg entering into archegonium in response to chemical attractants. Look at these, people. What is that? Motile sperms swim in external water towards the egg entering the archegonium in response to chemical attractants. In response to chemical attractants. So the egg is now inviting the sperm. Sperm fuses with the egg, resulting in diploid zygote. This occurs in the archegonium. After fertilization, zygote develops into embryo, right? And the embryo is also retained within the archegonium and develops into diploid sporophyte by obtaining nutrients from the gametophyte. The sporophyte remain attached to the gametophyte. The sporophyte contain a foot, seta, and the capsule. Right? Foot, seta, and capsule. I didn't label that in the diagram, the foot, seta, and the capsule. So look at this. How do you label number 11? Neither. Foot, number 13, foot, seta, capsule. So we'll label it properly then, people. How do you label it? This is foot, neither. This is foot. This is theta. And number 11 is capsule. Number 11 is capsule. All right. So the parts. The foot absorb nutrients and water from the gametophyte. The capsule produce spores by meiosis. Homospores. If spores are dispersed into favorable habitat, then they germinate. Proteoma produce buds that grow into gametophytes. So that's it. That's it. So we have to go to next life cycle. What's that life cycle, people? Life cycle of Nephrolepis. Yo. Life cycle of Nephrolepis. Right? Nephrolepis life cycle. Okay. Life cycle of Nephrolepis. So we move now to another life cycle. Nephrolepis life cycle. Now, Nephrolepis is a pterophyte. Nephrolepis is a pterophyte. Ne? So it has a dominant sporophytic stage. Sporophyte is a main stage in the life cycle. Nephrolepis. So we can start describing the life cycle, people, starting from, we can start the life cycle from sporophyte. We can start the life cycle from sporophyte. We can start it with the dominant sporophyte. Right? So this is the sporophyte. Adventitious roots present. Stem is a rhizome. Stem is a rhizome. Stem is a rhizome. Young leaves are rolled like this, neither. What do you call? Fiddlehead young leaves. And then, people, we can see that stolones present. Stolones are like these runner-like things. They are underground branches which is giving rise to new plants, which gives rise to new plants like this. Right? What do you call that? Stolone. So if you take the parts of the plant, what are these? Adventitious roots. Adventitious roots present. Rhizome present. This is what you call the leaf frond. Frond, frond is the leaf. Frond is a leaf. This one we call as a fiddlehead young leaves. Then you take a leaf. On the lower surface of the leaf, you can see some clusters available. Neither. Clusters available like this. These clusters, we call them as sori. Sori. Neither. Plural. Sorus singular. Sorus singular. In each sorus, if you look at each sorus is an umbrella-like part. It's like an umbrella. Ne? You can see people's sporangia present attached to the sorus. So actually, sorus is a cluster of sporangia. What is sorus? It's a collection of sporangia covered with a cap-like part. Right? So you take one sporangium. This is one sporangium. Inside you can see the sporocytes present. Same or a basic life cycle. Inside what do you see, people? Sporocytes present. Sporocytes. What are sporocytes? Spore mother cells. Spore mother cells present. Sporocytes. So they undergo meiosis. Result is haploid spores. Haploid spores. These spores are going to disperse by wind, and once they germinate, they form a heart shape about 1 centimeter in size. Heart-shaped structure. This heart-shaped structure has archegonia as well as it has antheridia. Right? Looks like repeating. Something you feel like repeating. I'm repeating. Yeah, it's the basic life cycle. So what do you call them, people? This is archegonia, and these antheridia, archegonia and antheridia. Ne? So archegonia, they forms, they bear the egg. This is the egg. Antheridia, they form the sperms. They form sperms inside. Ne? They form sperms inside. So this is the egg. This is egg. And here sperm. Here sperm. Right? Egg and sperm unite. Then makes the zygote. 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 Neither. Zygote now grow. You have to understand this archegonium is present here on this plant. So when the zygote grow into embryo, embryo forms on that heart-shaped gametophyte, the embryo forms. Embryo forms like this. Embryo forms like this. Right? Embryo forms like this. And this embryo, as it grow into a young sporophyte and then grow back into the mature sporophyte. So this is like the summary of this life cycle. What is this life cycle? Life cycle of nephrolepis. Life cycle of nephrolepis. So you have a poster. I have given you a poster. So check that poster, people. Check that poster. Right. Check that poster. All right. So look at this. This is the nephrolepis life cycle. This is nephrolepis life cycle. The poster you have neither. So this part is the sporophyte. Sporophyte and the parts of the sporophyte neither. Number 1, adventitious roots. Number 2, rhizome. Number 1, adventitious roots. We'll erase this. We'll do it properly. We'll take it like this. So number 1, what is that? Adventitious roots. Number 1, adventitious roots. Number 2, rhizome. Number 3. What's number 3? Can someone tell number 3? Scales, neither. Oh, you can say ramenta, but no need to label. Ne? It's not mentioned in our resource book. This is frond or the leaf. Leaf. So number 6, here these structures, sorus. This is sorus. This is a leaf. Number 5 is fiddlehead, neither. Fiddle, fiddle head, young leaf. Fiddlehead, young leaf. Fiddlehead, young leaf. Fiddlehead, young leaf. All right. So then we move here. The sporangium. Number 1, number 9, sporocyte, or what do you call the spore mother cells. Number 10, homospores. Homospore. That's homospore. Number 10, homospore. Then moving here. So number 11 and 12. Number 11 and 12, archegonia. Ne? Archegonia. Antheridia. Archegonia and antheridia. And then you can see them here. Number 15 and 14. This is egg neither. I will take it as egg. This is sperm. Sperm. 16 sperm. Okay. 15 is archegonium. 17 is a zygote. Zygote formed by fertilization. Fertilization. Formed by fertilization. So 18 is embryo. Embryo, and then we get people the young plant. Neither. Number 19, what is that people? Young plant. Young sporophyte. Young sporophyte. So that's it. This is easy. Neplephis life cycle is the easiest life cycle, isn't it? Right? Neplephis is the easiest life cycle, people. That's the easiest life cycle. Neplephis. Right? Neplephis is the easiest life cycle. Ne? So we have to read the note. We have to read the note. Right? Can you read the note? Look at this part. Life cycle of Neplephis. Life cycle of Neplephis. I'll enlarge it a little bit so you can read it easily. Now you can read that. Neither. Sporophyte is dormant. Sorry. Sporophyte is dominant. We'll see, read that. Gametophyte is reduced and short-lived. Both sporophyte and the gametophytes are independent and photosynthetic. Sporophytes have more complex structure. Plant body is differentiated into roots, stems, and leaves. Cuticle is found on aerial parts. What do you call as aerial parts? Okay, and Valanda, Mitravaruni, what is aerial parts? Those are the parts above the ground level. Cuticle is found in aerial parts of the plant body. Stomata are developed on aerial parts for gaseous exchange. Two types of vascular tissue, xylem and phloem, are developed. They have fiddlehead young leaves. Stem is underground rhizome. Leaves are compound pinnate leaves. Long underground branches called stolones. People, stolones. Balanda Mitravaruni. Stolones available. Rise from the rhizome, which give rise to the new plantlets. Sporangia are developed as clusters called sori on the underside of the mature leaflets. Underside of the mature leaflets. Underside of the mature leaflets, sori are produced and covered by indusium, protecting the young sporangia from desiccation. Spores are produced in sporangium by the meiosis and the homosporous. Spores are homosporous with the sorus. When the sorus mature, indusium dries up and shrivels, exposing mature sporangia. Under dry environmental condition, sporangium will rupture and releasing the spores. Spores are dispersed by wind. Chutta kalpana kalla balanda. Gametophyte is small, heart-shaped, microscopic, green-colored photosynthetic thallus. Naddaha. That's a thallus. Rhizoids develop in the ventral surface. Gametophytes are monoecious. Gametophytes are monoecious means bisexual. Gametophyte is heart-shaped neither. That is bisexual. Antheridia and the archegonia develop on the ventral side. Antheridium produce sperms and release them into the external environment. Archegonium produce one ovum and retains it. Motile sperms swim through the external water. If they swim through the external water, when they swim through the external water, right? When they swim through the external water, is it external fertilization or internal fertilization? You tell me, is it external fertilization or else internal fertilization? Who's going to tell me? Right? External or internal? Swim in external water, but still it swims into the archegonium, right into the archegonium. So that's internal fertilization, my dear. That is correct. And then people's sperms fuses with the egg, resulting in the diploid zygote. After fertilization, zygote develops into embryo and then into the young sporophyte while retained in the gametophyte. All the development stages are nourished by the gametophyte. When the young sporophyte develops into photosynthetic tissue, it becomes independent plant. It becomes independent plant. It becomes independent plant. Right? It becomes independent plant. That's it. So this is what we have to discuss about the plant life cycle. I think the paper, we have only 2 plant life cycles, right? We'll take another 2 plant life cycle for the next paper, and the final life cycle people to another paper. We'll go slowly like that. Right now, what we going to discuss next? How about discussing chordata? Let's talk about chordates. Now you know, my dear students, chordates, they have some basic features. How many basic features are present in chordates? Right? Chordata. Right? You learn, people, the classification of the chordates. Classification of chordates. What are the basic features of chordate? Basic features of the chordate. They have a tail. They have a tail. Then this is their GI tract. They have an anus. So that beyond the anus, there is a tail. What do you call that? Post-anal tail. This is called as the post-anal tail. Beyond the anus, the tail. And then, my dear, here you can see a heart on the ventral side, ventral heart present. And you also learned that some of the openings present, what do you call these? Pharyngeal gill slits. Pharyngeal gill slits. That's another feature. And here you can see above the GI tract, support structure is available. That's we call as the notochord. It's some supporting structure present along the body. Extension of the notochord enters into the tail. And then, dear, there is a, what do you call? That's the brain, anterior brain, and a nerve cord present. Nerve cord, not a spinal cord. Now you can take the word spinal cord, more set. I'm not saying that this is not setting, but the spinal cord is more suitable when come to vertebrata. Now still we are talking about chordata. We are talking about chordata, right? All chordates are not vertebrates, right? So therefore, people, we call this as the dorsal tubular nerve cord. Dorsal tubular nerve cord present. So when you talk about the features of the vertebrates, when you talk about the features of the vertebrates, right? So we can take these basic features, right? So you can take them now. What we said, people, dorsal hollow single nerve cord located longitudinal flexible rod called notochord. Hari, so this one is notochord. Longitudinal flexible notochord present. That's the first feature. Okay, let's go into the board, right, go into the board. Right, let's take this part. Okay, that's enzyme. You have to come back for that. Right. Look at this. Longitudinal flexible rod called notochord present, extending from the anterior to posterior, providing support in at least in embryonic stage. Dorsal hollow single nerve cord located dorsal to the notochord. All coded embryos, there are slits or clefts in pairs either side of the pharynx that opens to outside of the body. In terrestrial adult chordates, it disappears and remains in the aquatic adults and the larval forms for the respiration. What do you call that, people? Pharyngeal gill slits, neither. And then muscular tail that extend posterior to the anus present in the embryonic stage. Some terrestrial adult is reduced. Ventral muscular heart is present. Ventral heart, right? So the muscular tail extensions extend posterior to the anus, present in some embryonic stages. Right, now we have to discuss, people, characteristic features of, characteristic features of chondrichthyes, cartilage fish, right? So cartilage fish, characteristic features of the cartilage fish, characteristic features of cartilage fish. So what are you going to say? Cartilage fish, right? So you can draw the body like this, ne? You can draw him like this. You can draw him like this. The two lobes present in the tail. Two lobes in the tail. Mouth is on the ventral side. The mouth is on the ventral side. Gill slits present. Right? Gill slits are there. Right? And then, people, we can see that we can see the cartilaginous fish. Right? Okay. So what are features of the cartilaginous fish? All are aquatic, ectothermic. Warm blood condition is present among the aves and mammals. All others are ectothermic, cold-blooded. And then skeletal composed of predominantly of cartilage, fins for locomotion and balancing. And then caudal fin is heterocercal. That means these two lobes are not same in size. And gills for respiration, no operculum. Now in a bony fish you can see operculum, but now here you don't see any operculum. And then gills for respiration, gills for respiration, gills for respiration, body covered with placoid scales. Placoid scales are there. So that's a special one, the term. This term is special, placoid scales. Placoid scales present. Eggs are fertilized internally, some are oviparous and others are ovoviviparous. Look at these, people. Oviparous and ovoviviparous. Oviviparous. All three, neither. So that's like a special term. That is a special term. Right? Oviparous, ovoviviparous, viviparous. Now what do you call viviparous? Give birth to young ones. Oviparous, laying eggs. What is ovoviviparous? They produce eggs inside the body, but they don't lay them. Keep them inside. Then the young ones hatch. Young ones come out. Looks like viviparous, but not truly viviparous. That what do you call, people? Ovoviviparous. Ovoviviparous. And then the people, reproductive tract, excretory ducts and digestive tract empty into cloaca. That's like a special term. Cloaca. What is cloaca? It's like a special chamber here, right? Here they have a special chamber. It's like the rectum. It's like rectum into which the urinary, fecal, reproductive organs are open. Cloaca, right? So read that part, people. Reproductive tract, reproductive tract, reproductive tract, excretory ducts and digestive tract empty into cloaca, a common chamber that has the single opening to the outside. Next one. Next one. Characteristic features. Characteristic features of the bony fish. So let's erase this guy. Let's take instead a bony fish. Right? Let's take a bony fish. Right. What do you see in the bony fish? The special feature is homocercal, caudal fin, mouth is terminal, operculum present. More membranous fins are present. More membranous fins. Swim bladder available. That's like a structure which provide the buoyancy to the animal. Swim bladder present. Gives the upthrust so that the animal can change the position in water with less expenditure of energy. You don't have to produce always a thrust, right, to lift its body up and down, right, sink in water and to the reach to the surface. No need, neither. So you can see people, swim bladder is available. Swim bladder present. Two types of scales present. What you call ctenoid and the cycloid. Shape wise, these scales are classified into two. Ctenoid and the cycloid scales are present, right? And ctenoid and the cycloid scales present. So let's look at the features, people. Characteristic features of class Ostectes: aquatic, ectothermic, having skeleton composed of bones, gills for respiration, covered by bony flaps called operculum, fins for locomotion, swim bladder for control buoyancy. Caudal fin is homocercal, body is covered by flattened bony scales. They are ctenoid or cycloid scales. Most show external fertilization, some show internal fertilization. Most species are oviparous. Carp. What is carp? You know carps, neither. Right? Carps, carangid, tuna. These are different fish. Right? Oviparous. So previously we said ovoparous, viviparous, ovoviviparous, neither. Now this one, most of them are oviparous, laying eggs. Right? Then the people, we have to talk about amphibians. Next, amphibians. Amphibia. Right? Let's take features of amphibians. That's easy, neither. Amphibians, toads and frogs. Sometimes some are limbless amphibians are there, ichthyopis, right? So amphibians. So what are the features that you can see among amphibians? Right? What features you can see? So they are amphibians, the first animals to invade the land environment, right? First animals to invade the land environment. Need water to complete the life cycle. So, they can't complete the life cycle on land because they have external fertilization. Neither. They found only on land or freshwater, no marine. That's like a special feature. No marine members, none of them are marine. Have skeleton composed of bones. First species to possess limbs. Body is somewhat elevated. So they can lift the body slightly above the ground and help in locomotion in terrestrial environment. Some are limbless. Some are tetrapods, means 4 limbs present, digits present. Digits can lamai fingers neither. Some larvae stages respire through gills. Some of them respire through their skin. So gill respiration, skin respiration, buccal cavity lining for respiration, different structures. Most amphibians possess pair of lungs for gas exchange, ectothermic animals, right? So they can change the body temperature. Body is covered with thin, moist skin and glands. No scales, that's special. Neither. Reptiles have scales, birds have scales, amphibians, no scales. Nictitating membrane, that's like a special kind of eyelid. Right? In addition to the normal eyelid, they have an extra eyelid. What do you call that? Nictitating membrane. Tympanic membrane present too, neither. Tympanic membrane is a eardrum. Eardrum directly exposes out, right? Tympanic membrane present. All right, tympanic membrane. And they show external fertilization. Amphibians are showing external fertilization, eggs without shells. So those are the features, right? Now we have to move people to reptiles. Properties of reptiles. Reptiles. You can take a reptile. Maybe I can draw a gecko. So reptiles, you can take a dinosaur, you can take snakes, and so they have scales. They have scales, right? They have scales covering the body. You know, people, these are the first animals adapted to land life. Most are terrestrial, some are aquatic. Most are terrestrial, some are aquatic. They are the first animals to live complete terrestrial life, have skeleton composed of bones, possess limbs for locomotion, body covered with keratinized scales. Keratinized scales. No glands, special feature, ne? Amphibians, they have glands. They have the toxic glands, mucus producing glands present. These guys are not having any glands. Lungs for respiration, ectothermic, live in terrestrial and aquatic habitats, internal fertilization, they are having shelled eggs. Now, you know, people, these shelled eggs, right, they provide liquid required for the development of embryos. Lizards, snakes, turtles, crocodiles, alligators are examples. Moving to next, characteristics of aves. Aves, birds, ne? Characteristics of aves. Bird features. What you can say the bird features? Birds, they have evolved from reptiles. Marine, freshwater, terrestrial members are present. Marine, freshwater, terrestrial. No teeth, ne? No teeth. No teeth. And they have people short tail with long tail, short tail with long tail. Tail feathers are long, ne? Tail feathers are long. Tail is short. They have a short tail. Scales present, especially on their legs. People need the scales available. They don't have teeth. Beak only. Wings present. Feathers present. Those are like special features, right? Wings, feathers present. Different types of feathers they have. Different types of feathers are there. These are actually helping. The feathers are helping them to conserve the body temperature. So therefore, people, these animals are warm-blooded. Right? Body covered with keratinized feathers. Legs have scales. Light and strong bony skeleton with air cavities. So bones are relatively light. Forelimbs are modified with feathers for flight. Possess lungs for gaseous exchange. Many adaptations to help to flying. Light body, wings, bones with air cavities, high metabolism, high rate of metabolism because they are very metabolically active because they need a lot of energy to fly. And then body size restrictions are there because they can't carry a huge body, they can't airlift it. So the body size is limited. You know, people, some large birds can't fly neither. Ostrich and all, they cannot fly and they are endothermic. Birds have color vision and excellent eyesight, live in terrestrial and aquatic habitats. Internal fertilization, lay eggs. So the examples, crow, parrot, hummingbirds, eagles, etc. Right? So these are the examples. Now we come for the last, right? We are going to talk about mammals. Mammals, you and me, right? We are mammals, right? Mammalian features, right? So what do you know about mammals, people? What do you know about mammals? Body covered with hairs, neither. So the hairs protects their temperature. So once again, warm-blooded animals. Once again, warm-blooded animals. Once again, warm-blooded animals. Body is covered with fur. Body is covered with fur. And then they have some special features in external ears are there at heterodont, what you call differentiated teeth present. The body is covered with hair, right? Diaphragm present, muscular diaphragm present. All right. So let's check these features. Live in terrestrial habitats, some are aquatic, you know, whales, dolphins and all. Nourish young ones by producing milk with mammary glands. Skeleton mainly composed of bones with cartilage. And then body is covered with hair. Endothermic animals and have high metabolic rate. They have differentiated teeth. They have efficient respiratory system with the lungs. And then complete circulatory system and four-chambered heart present. Muscular diaphragm present. They have large brain and compared to other groups of vertebrates, very intelligent animals. Very intelligent animals. Different methods of communication present. So they can talk with each other, right? The mammals. And then they have internal fertilization and they show relatively long period of parental care. So they look after the young ones like your parents. Most of them use legs for locomotion, some adapted for flight, and some others for aquatic sites, bats, whales, monkeys, and crows. Neither, right? So is about this is about the animal diversity part. So easy parts, people, right? Not very hard. So my paper, right? We are planning every time people to cover short theory parts, right? We'll go like this, right? Every time I'm giving you a plan to study 3 sections, you are studying them. I'm coming and discussing, right? Those theory sections plus people, we go through the question discussion because sometimes you study and sometimes people you do the class tutes and all, but there are certain things people which really don't strike your mind because sometimes you talk with your friend and then go on filling the tute and then you're not that conscious. You are like thinking something else and then fill in the tute. You do those things, neither. So sometimes when you independently sit down and mark an answer for a question, only people you really use your brain, right? Uh, so if you don't peep into your friend's answer and then straight away you think and write, people, that is the only point where you use your brain. Then only you realize, people, right, what you remember and what you don't. That's very important. That's very important thing in the learning process. Every time, people, you have to understand, you have to know what you know and what you doesn't. Right? Some people go on their whole A-level career, right? They go without understanding what they know and what they doesn't know, right? That's very bad. So we'll move now, people, for the enzyme lesson. Enzyme lesson, quickly we'll go through that. I'm not going to explain you everything, right? So let's quickly go through that enzyme part also, right? So you have to hang on. The right, enzyme, right? Enzyme part. We'll quickly go through this enzyme. Now, these days, for 2027 students, we are discussing enzyme lesson. The relationship between the metabolic process. So, you know, the reactions, anabolic reactions are present and catabolic reactions are present. The sum of total chemical reactions you call as the metabolism. Catabolism is breakdown and anabolism is build up reaction. No issue regarding that. ATP act as energy carrier. You need energy, people, for various different energy requiring process in your body. So you learn about ATP, adenosine triphosphate, right? The three methods of ATP production: phosphorylation, substrate phosphorylation, photophosphorylation, and oxidative phosphorylation. Those are the methods. We had to discuss that in the cellular respiration part. Then for various different body processes, energy needed, enzymes. Now, these 10 characters of enzymes you must remember. 10 characters of enzyme. Most of the enzymes are globular. Why? RNA molecules. Why not all? Why don't they say, people, all enzymes are proteins? They can't say that. Because some proteins are actually RNA molecules. Some proteins are RNA molecules. Something wrong happened. Right? Some protein molecules are RNA molecules. Some protein molecules are RNA molecules. Right, look, enzymes are biological catalyst. You know, they speed up reactions. Most of the enzymes are heat labile. The presence does not alter the nature of the properties of the end product. So whether the enzyme present or not is going to do the same reaction, right? Same end product. Enzymes can't change the nature of the end products, all right? And then, people, enzymes are highly specific to substrate. Most enzyme catalyzed reactions are reversible. The rate of enzyme activity is affected by pH, temperature. You know them, neither. They are not being used up during the reaction. Enzyme possesses active sites. Some enzymes need non-proteinaceous paths. Right, people? Look at this graph. Look at this graph. So here, people, we can see this is the energy level of the reactants. This is the energy level of the products, right? So we call this as delta G. What is delta G, people? Free energy, neither. You say Gibbs free energy or the free energy. So this is the course of the reaction without enzyme. And the green one is showing you, people, with the enzyme. So activation energy. What is activation energy? Energy required to start a reaction we call as the activation energy. Look at this, right? Activation energy means the amount of energy needed to start something. Think that, people, you keep a bottle at the edge of the desk. You leave a bottle at the edge of the desk, a glass of water at the edge of the desk. For this to fall and break, it needs very minute energy. Even wind is enough, ne? But it's not the case, people, when you place the glass at the middle of the desk. It doesn't fall that easily. So activation energy means the energy that you have to give externally for a reaction to happen, right? So that the enzymes reduces activation energy. So, you know, people, enzymes give an alternative pathway. If you take the enzymes give an alternative pathway. Think that, people, This is energy mountain. You have to climb to the top to go to the other side. Ne? Enzymes are actually making a tunnel like this. Through this enzyme mountain, energy mountain, only few people can climb to the top of the energy mountain to become products. Right? Only few people can climb to the energy mountain. But enzymes decreases the energy requirement by making a tunnel like that. So it actually gives an alternative pathway. So when the enzyme absent, this is the energy needed to start the reaction. This much of energy. When the enzyme present, it seriously decreases the energy requirement. So it's creating a new path for the reaction to proceed. Right? So it lowers the activation energy. Ne? So this is the EA, energy of activation without the enzyme. And this is the energy of activation with the enzyme. So significant change of the activation energy with and without the enzyme. So that you have to understand. So this is what it shows you. Right? Energy of activation. Energy of activation. And then people, they talk about the enzyme, mechanism of enzyme action. Mechanism of enzyme action. Right? Enzymes, they have people induce fit mechanism, right? Enzymes are having induce fit mechanism. Look at this. This is the relax enzyme. This is the active site of the enzyme. As the substrate interact, the enzyme induce its shape slightly to become complementary to the substrate. Neither. This is the substrate. To match with the substrate, some induction occur. So that promotes the formation of the enzyme substrate complex. That promotes the formation of the enzyme substrate complex. So we call this as the induced fit mechanism. And finally, what you see, people, products are going to release. Products are going to release, no harm to the enzyme. Products are going to release, no harm to the enzyme. The same enzyme can participate in the reaction one more time. So this is product. This is the substrate. This is ES complex. What is ES complex, people? Enzyme substrate complex, neither ES complex. So this is how the reaction occur. This is how reaction take place. Right? So read that part a little bit. This is the active site and how the enzyme, the substrate go and bind to the active site. It's now clear for you. And then the people, something interesting that we learn about the enzyme cofactors. We learn something interesting about the enzyme cofactors. Enzyme cofactors and activators, we learn, people, they are different. Enzyme cofactors and an activator different. So enzymes, you learn, people, some enzymes are simple enzymes. Simple enzymes. That means they don't have cofactors. Some enzymes are complex. The complex enzymes are having two parts, apoenzyme and the enzyme cofactor. Enzyme cofactors. Now, simple enzymes are only made of amino acid. Simple enzymes are only made up of amino acid. Like this. Only made up of amino acid. No cofactors. Complex enzymes, cofactors present. Complex enzymes are having cofactors. I'm putting this red color dot as the cofactor. Apoenzyme is the protein part of the complex enzyme, only this part. Cofactor is that red dot. Neither. Cofactor is a red dot. Cofactors are two types. What are those two types of cofactors, people? Can someone tell me? Some are inorganic cofactors. Some are organic and you call them as coenzymes. Neither coenzymes. Coenzymes. Coenzymes are organic cofactors. Coenzymes are two types. What are those two types of coenzymes? Loosely bound. Loosely bound. Neither loosely bound. And what do you call the other? Tightly bound. Or you can say people permanently. Neither. Permanently bound. Loosely bound and permanently bound. Permanently bound means they don't go off like your head. You can't pull your head off when you go home. Ne? Now you still have your head, neither, but you don't have the helmet. Ne? Helmet is like loosely bound coenzyme. Head is like a permanently bound one. So therefore we classify, and then people, you learn this list. You learn this list: inorganic cofactors and organic cofactors. Then various different factors are affecting on enzyme activity. Various different factors are affecting on enzyme activity. People, you learn these factors which affect on the enzyme activity. Factors affect on enzyme activity, we classified them. Remember, we have the lesson how it progress, right? Enzyme activity, ne? Enzyme activity. So you learn two types. First one you learn, people, factors affecting enzyme activity. Neither factors affect enzyme activity. What is the other one? Factors regulate enzyme activity. Factors regulate enzyme activity. Now I told you that factors affecting, what affect for you to eat in the canteen, school canteen, what are the factors affecting? There must be an interval, right? And then you must be hungry also. Then you need to have money. Then there are certain factors which affect. So these are the factors. What factors are there, people? We have the list, neither. First one, temperature. Second one, pH. Third one, what is that? Substrate. Fourth one, inhibitors. They affect. Factors regulate enzyme activity. We have control in neither. How enzymes are controlled. One is, people, the allosteric activators and inhibitors. Ne? Allosteric activator and inhibitors. What is the second one, people? Cooperativity. Regulation. Ne? Third one, feedback inhibition. Feedback inhibition. So these are the methods of regulating enzyme activity. So I want you to, right, go through these things, right, quickly go through them. Especially, people, inhibitors, two types, neither competitive inhibitors and non-competitive inhibitors, right? And then I want you to go through, brush your knowledge a little bit, right? It's now time for us to stop the class. So thank you very much for your participation tonight, right? I'm expecting to see you soon, and so see you, Ned. Thank you, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.